Say, kids, what time is it?
It's kind of like watching TV, but, in your car.
104.7 The Cave, Springfield Pure Classic Rock. Mike, the intern, in the studio with
special guest
Jay Stevens, and there's Joe.
Joe, you can share my special light. It'll make you look young and beautiful.
Joe's here.
It needs more than a light.
He needs more than just this fancy light. We are Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave, where we get together and we meet up. We talk about podcasts. We talk about streaming shows. We talk about all kinds of stuff. Jay's lighting, and
we expand our minds.
We're expanding our minds. We learn about new stuff.
Without the use of drugs.
Without the use of drugs. By using our internet connection.
Amazing.
It is pretty amazing.
Well, the problem I have now with this is that you look bigger than I do. Like, the distance is not correct, so we'll have to work on that. We're working the kinks out over the course of 2 years here.
Man, all right.
I look like a little kid, like at the lunch counter.
If you didn't know, we actually broadcast these in video, so you can watch it on Facebook every Thursday starting at 9. So not only can you download it as a podcast, you can, of course, listen to it on 104.7 The K, but you can also watch us make fools of ourselves on Facebook while we do Dark Side of the Stream. And today, on this episode of Dark Side of the Stream, we are discussing Jay's pick, Pink, All I Know So Far.
Amazing.
It's
on Amazon. Yeah, like incredible. The way that she flies around the arenas. No, touring with her kid, like the trials of being a mother and running a corporation that is pink.
Okay.
No, you're not buying it.
She's 41 years old.
Gosh,
so she's what,
killing
3 years older than I am. And the documentary is called All I Know So Far, which I think is smart.
Yes.
Because, at 41, you know a little bit, but not everything.
Halfway through the game, essentially.
Based on the numbers,
world.
yeah. But, I'll just get out of the gate with, it's not a bad documentary, especially for a guy like me who really does not give 2 ounces for Pink at all.
You don't? Wait a minute.
It's just not my jam. Dude, we did first of all, we did a documentary. We did one about Tina Turner, and Jay the whole time is like this.
I wasn't feeling it.
Let me tell you this right now, brother, and I guarantee you, if Pink was in the studio right now, she'd slap you across the face and say, there would be no Pink without Tina Turner.
I believe that.
Let's get that out of the way
first. I believe that 100%.
So if you're going to stand here and be like, you don't
100%.
Like Pink, you don't like Pink, well, bud, you don't like Tina Turner.
Well,
and I'll tell you right now, if you don't like Tina Turner, you don't like Pink either.
The new era, like...
You're 50 years old.
Okay.
What do you mean the new era?
Pink is a rock singer, like...
Tina Turner is also a rock singer and in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, brother.
Well,
yeah. Now, my point is this. Jay has this thing about performers.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Not to say that Tina Turner wasn't a performer,
right.
Because, oh my goodness, was she a performer. But she was also an incredible artist. Now, I'm not saying Pink is an incredible artist. She does have the vocals. But what Pink's deal is, it's more about the show.
Yes.
It's more about the performance as a entertainer, which I get it at that certain point. It's pretty incredible to see what actually goes into some of her performances, which we'll talk about next. Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave. 104.7 The Cave, Mike the intern, Jay Stevens. We are back. It's Dark Side of the Stream, our 45th episode.
Is this our 45 times?
45 times we've actually done this.
We've done this as many presidents as they've had in the United States.
Whoa,
right?
That's something to think about.
Wow, that's deep.
Dog
deep
years were very old. So we're discussing Jay's pick today, Pink, All I Know So Far. Jay was like, he came in, and it started a couple weeks ago. I was trying to get him to watch the Black Hole one, and he's like, oh
God, that was a tough one, the Black Hole one.
I was just falling asleep. But I did watch the Pink documentary twice.
Because it's, it's a couple things going on. The performance aspect, I think she's got a great voice, great performer aspect, puts on amazing shows. I've seen her in concert. And this stuff that she does where she flies around, this is like cutting edge new stuff. Nobody's doing this. Like literally flying around an arena.
Hey,
with just something around your waist.
Don't say that, because we all know that Paul Stanley from Kiss also does the same thing.
Flips.
And when he flies out,
no. Here's the difference.
Black Diamond for
Here's the difference.
Oh no! I turned Jay on too much. He dropped the camera.
No. Paul Stanley, John Bon Jovi, they go from one spot to another and land.
She stays
one
up.
cable.
She
goes around and around and flips, and it's like, because it's like a 4-way cable around her waist.
So she can do aerial
It's
stuff.
like literally like flying. It's incredible.
I'm actually good friends with a lot of the Springfield areas here in town. Shout out ladies and gentlemen. They do some incredible stuff. But and being friends with a lot of them, I know how much work it takes just to get into that aspect of it, to have the muscles to be able to like hold yourself up. You know, just as well as I do, dude. Aerialists are kind of like wrestlers and rock climbers. Like every part of your body has to be muscle. Man. Because you're like, you're holding yourself up this way, and then you've got to hang up this way, and then you got to do this, but you're also moving yourself. And at the same time, you got to hold yourself up. Incredible. So that's in itself is an incredible thing.
That was one incredible aspect. The other is being a parent, especially being a mother, on tour with your children, like especially like when the kid's sick and like mother in her wants to take care of the kid, but the business person in her knows I can't get this sickness. I got to stay away. Like it's pretty wild, man.
There's so much money involved into the production of what she was doing.
I mean, can you imagine the money? They
followed her on the Beautiful Trauma World Tour, which let me see how much it actually grossed. $397.3 million.
No!
The 10th highest grossing tour of all time.
Are you kidding me?
From a female solo artist.
Female solo artist.
Now, man, I'm the dum-dum who's saying Pink, meh. The plus, 3 million tickets says different, my man.
Plus, one thing about Pink is when I saw her at the Staples Center, lights go down, they start underneath the stage, opening with Highway to Hell.
She can rock, and I'm not saying that she's not.
And her band, she used the same band members all these years, like a family.
She kept those guys
220 people work for her on this tours. It's incredible, man.
It is incredible. We'll talk more about Pink and all she knows so far. Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave. 104.7 The Cave, Springfield's pure classic rock. Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens. We're back in the studio talking Pink. All I know so far.
It's a good, easy watch documentary.
It was on Amazon Prime, and it was actually directed by the guy who directed the Greatest Showman. That you remember that
great movie, Hugh Jackman.
About P.T. Barnum. It's actually pretty interesting that they went with this guy to that was his directorial debut. Can you believe that? That was
Showman
his first. That was his first movie as a director.
Amazing movie.
Yeah, it really was. And there is a lot of spectacle in that movie as well. Yes. And he does a really good job of kind of bringing spectacle to this, because you actually have to do that if you're going to sell the story about what Pink does, about what goes into making one of the top 10 grossing tours of all time, almost $400 million, which is incredible. 3 million tickets sold to this thing. So, yeah, it's incredible. And like you mentioned in the last break, she's a mom.
Yeah.
And she has kids and has to bring them, and she's in a relationship.
Who's got the sweetest gig in this whole documentary is the husband. Dude.
But he's also his own dude. You know what I mean?
Like he's chilling, man. Yeah, he's Mr. Momming it with the kids while mom's out there killing it and staying in first class hotels and jets.
He's on board and supports her. Now being Corey Hart was a freestyle motocross dude, crazy. Some of the stuff that he did, and definitely also got injured a few times.
Yeah, and they've had their ups and downs. They got married, split up for a little while, got back together. Like they've worked it out.
That's good, and they're making it work. And it's almost as if you kind of get the sense that what she does, and even though it's like a rock tour, a music tour, pop tour, whatever you call it, it's almost as if it is a circus.
It is like a circus, yeah.
How much they have to bring on with them. It's not just like stage sound. Dudes get on there, play
your guitar and go.
There's a lot more to it.
And it's all pyro, like time. Everything has to be right on cues, and it's a lot of stuff. It is
a circus, and again, if you're essentially the person commanding the circus, which that's what
the ringleader,
does.
The ringleader, right? She's the ringleader.
It's a pretty incredible thing. Just from the perspective of what even if you're just a guy like me and you're like, Pink, who cares? Look at it from the production standpoint about who actually does what and what they go, and all the people that have a hand in this. And the documentary does a good job of seeing just not only what Pink does and what she does and how she's
the whole team.
The whole team. And like you mentioned, it is a family. Yeah. And I think we talk a lot about how sometimes money, power, fame corrupts people, turns them into dogs whenever they, it's just kind of exasperating what they always were. If some people actually turn into better people because of the money they make, Pink is actually one of those so far.
So far.
That we know of.
Who knows
what kind of weird
I'm
scandals.
sure there's some screaming and yelling
We all got our skeletons, my man. It is Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave. 104.7 The Cave, Springfield's pure classic rock. Jay Stevens, Mike the Intern. We are back in the studio. It is Dark Side of the Stream, discussing Pink, All I Know So Far.
So it's a good, easy watch. It's a good, easy watch, right?
What I would...
It's free, Amazon.
What I would do as far as saying all I know so far is that Pink is an incredible entertainer. I also know what gets Jay Stevens' goat. If it's got pyro, if it's got a huge production, and
that's what I'm all about, man. It's all about the fluff.
You know, that's what he wants. Which I get it. You're a Vegas guy for a little bit, weren't you?
Yeah, I've done all.
So
that stuff, so.
I know it's kind of like when I saw when I took my kid to see 21 Pilots, or actually Panic at the Disco would be a better example. Because those dudes are Vegas dudes, right? And those guys, especially Brandon, to be specific, I'm not a big Panic at the Disco fan. I'm not rocking their stuff.
He's a great guy.
But when you see the performance, you can see that they came from Vegas because they understand what it is to put on a spectacle. Whether you like the band or not, you have to admit, that was one hell of a show. I don't really care about the music,
which is the same thing with
Pink.
Kiss, Motley Crue. Maybe musically they're not as great, but the production, the whole show is. Kiss isn't great at all. They're actually way worse than Motley Crue. But the production value is good, you know.
Come on, dude.
How many sold out arenas do we give?
I was going to do glittery microphones.
Okay, I'll do glittery microphones. No, I'll gladly take that. I'll take that.
Do we give this? I would give it a solid 3 glittery microphones.
I'll give it a 4 glittery microphones out of 5.
I thought it was well done.
Yeah,
I thought it was good. I wasn't
easy watch. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah,
you know?
I wasn't super invested into the story.
The stuff with the kids, the family aspects, and the kids,
the way they make it work. But again, you got to take it with a grain of salt because again,
take it with a grain of glitter.
Grain of glitter. She made almost $400 million on this one tour. Pink and her husband are doing just fine. So while yes, it must be difficult to take a family on tour,
problems too.
It's not that hard if you got a personal chef,
private
a personal freaking trainer. If you want to go off onto your own thing, the ones that they really need to follow are the dudes that are lugging the speakers up and down those ramps 4 or 5 million times a day.
Guys.
The crew. Do not forget them. It doesn't get put together unless the crew is there working their butt off before and after the show. It's just like Jackson Brown said. The loadout is a song for a
hang
reason.
on now.
Pay
then I'm
attention.
Getting screwed because in the Machine Gun shows, we bring a lot of production. I'm the dumbass setting it up. Then I'm performing. Then I'm the dumbass loading it out.
It's not. Well, hey, if you want to get to a point where you're hiring, would
you come and work
5 guys,
for me, Mike?
Depends on what kind of money we're talking about here, sir.
All right.
That's the point. Money makes the world go round. All right, so it's my pick next for Dark Side of the Stream, and this one is... I'm going to share some really, really personal stories that I didn't think I'd ever share with anyone, especially...
Show me on the doll where they touched you.
It's not going to be like that, but it's definitely going to be personal as far as when I was a small child and my entire world revolved around...
Bigfoot, Sasquatch.
He-Man and She-Ra. He-Man and She-Ra made up my entire world, and there is a documentary called... The Power of Grayskull, which talks about the cartoon, which talks about the toys and everything. I know you were a little bit older. Yep. We're going to watch this on Netflix. The Power of Grayskull. All that stuff. And I was a
He-Man.
Yes, I was a huge He-Man guy.
My He-Man impersonation.
And Jay's going to dress up like He-Man for our next.
I will. Can I just wear underwear? Is that what he wears?
You got to blonde your hair out though. That's a big part.
I'll put a wig on. I'll put a blonde wig on. I'll come in as He-Man.
As always, you can stream this online, 1047thecave.com, as a podcast on our 104.7 The Cave app. If you haven't already watched us do this live, you can do it on Facebook every Thursday, 9 o'clock, Dark Side of the Stream, saying, keep your eyes peeled to the TV and turn that AC all the way up. I'm Mike the Intern, and this is Jay Stevens on 104.7 The Cave.